Hi, so we have another tabletop review, and this time it's coming from Frederique Constant. Frederique Constant is a relatively young company from Switzerland. They were I think they're about 40 years old if I'm not mistaken. And they were recently bought by the Citizen Group, but they're still operating in Switzerland. And in the past, they were doing more of dress pieces, and right now, what you would see is more of a dress piece as well. But in the years, they've come to go with the sport editions, and then they've let's just say they've gotten their traction with the watch world. They're kind of respected now with their in-house movements, and I think good things are good to come for them just because of the price point and the value proposition that they actually bring to the table. So here we have the inner box just to get out of that. And then we have this leather strap that came along. This is the factory leather strap. And I would already say that this is shit. So I'll go out with the negative already, because if you guys would see here, that happened already. And that's just me trying to break break out the leather strap, and that kind of happened already. It's a quick release, but too bad that their leather straps are shit. So, which is actually kind of okay because it's an easy remedy, especially for a leather strap. If that happened with a steel bracelet, then that would be something different. Now we have the authenticity card, warranty card. These are manual. They're all digitized, and that's about for the box. So we can go with the watch. Now it comes with a very elegant green inner box. I have to say, even the texture of this and the green coloration is so classically done. And it's just the logo there, and then inside you have the watch. Now this is as I said, an aftermarket leather strap that I bought for about $10 or so, and actually looks good with the green because I wanted to match it to somewhere. It matches the silver dial and it matches the box, and it's something that I barely use anyway. So I might as well, when I look at it or just open it, it's a good combination to look at. All right, so case dimensions would be, I measure at 31.6 across. The effective lug to lug would be a 39.7, so very wearable for smaller wrists. And a thickness of 9.2, which is one of the main reasons that I bought this, because it can't be a dress watch if it's not thick. So here in the thickest part, which is the domed sapphire, would be 9.4. So sapphire up front and sapphire at the back. 22 millimeter lug spacing here for the straps. And then you guys would see here, I got the same dimensions of a 22 by 18. So there's a nice taper towards the end of that strap. Now movement is a Salida 200, which is expected. But one of the good things about this is there is no date as well. So they deleted the date from this movement. Now back to the dial. So the dial is very, to me, reminiscent of a JLC tribute, but the JLC, the reverso line would all be manual wind, and I always wanted an automatic because it is just overall easier for me to use in rotation. 2, I cannot afford a JLC, and if I can, I just don't think I would buy a JLC. So here is the closest alternative that I would see. Except that it has this open heart at the 12 rather than just like a straight out dial, which I actually like because I did some reading about it. Frederique Constant claims that they actually invented the open heart concept but they forgot to patent it, and thus, when it became popular, they weren't really able to cash in on that invention per se. But so that's what they say, and nobody contests really. And so it's a silver white dial. So it's just applied batons on the side, highly polished. And then let's try to zoom in a bit. And then we have this printed minute markers inside with a pattern inside as well. And you have a Frederique Constant printing, Genève, and then Swiss made at the bottom. And of course that beating heart at the 12. It's a fairly simple watch, but in my humble opinion, very classy. You have this some sort of an onion crown, and to wind it, not that bad. And again, it's automatic, so sometimes I just shake it, and you guys would see here now it's running. Well, it's been running since earlier. And then if I pull it out, it stops the movement. So there's no date position. So it really just goes to the time already. So you guys would see it stop that balance wheel. And then I can set the time to the most popular Instagram time. There you are. And then press the crown again because it's a push-pull crown. And then it runs again. So everything is just highly polished. And then the case has this beautiful step here, very similar to the 1940s designs. What do they call that again? I keep on forgetting. If I remember it, I would just write it down. Art Deco. There you are. No need for me to edit. And then again, fairly simple. Everything is just highly polished. Another nice factor about this is that this watch has 2 lug holes. I don't know if you guys would see there. So the reason why for the 2 lug holes is sometimes leather straps can be so different. Some are too thick, some are too thin, and if you just want it to position towards where towards near the part of the case, then you can. And that's actually a nice detail that I saw coming from them, because if you would see here, I just hate if there's gaps, and that eliminates the gaps as long as you have the proper strap. And if you don't have the proper strap, if it's a thicker strap, then you can just put it on the second lug hole. Wrist roll on a 6.5 inch wrist. As you guys would see, it's a good fit. It's not a small watch per se because of the dimensions, and it does have a wrist presence. So it won't be dainty for, burly guys and so on and so forth. And it just wears perfectly because of that thickness, or thinness should I say. Again, it's a 9mm-ish thick watch, and then the lug to lug is just suits my wrist. Maybe the strap can be somewhat too big. And again, I wear my strap, yes, I wear it inverted. This is I saw this in the Japanese forums, and it just looks cleaner actually. And then there you would have it in a much more framed way on a wrist, and it just wears good. Now, is it legible from afar? Somewhat, yes. It's not hard to tell the time, but it's not super legible like a dive watch or so. But it does the job. Now, is there enough AR coding? Maybe they could have added more. But it's just so nice looking at that beating heart from afar. You can see it already. So pros and cons of this watch. Pro, I think, would be the price. I think the value proposition that Frederique Constant brings to the table is, let's just say, is actually second to none. They may not be like Tissot in a budget way kind of form, but for the finishing that you get under the loop, this is actually good. Now, it may appear expensive if you look at it through the website or through the malls, but if you go through the secondary market or the gray market sometimes, because they produce a lot of these units and these units don't fly off the shelf, you'll always get it with a discount. So just like any watch, if you can, don't buy it at retail, and you can save a lot. And if you do, that's when it becomes worth it. So to me, the price is good as long as the price that you paid it for is correct. Now, cons. Maybe just maybe, a little bit thinner here. Maybe a 28 millimeter case and then a 20 millimeter strap would be the perfect proportion of the case. But who am I? I'm not a designer. And then maybe they can invest on better straps, because again, this is shit. And that's really all I can complain about, because this is a dress watch. And then I read somewhere that the dress watches, especially if you don't go dress often, should be one of your cheaper watches because you don't get to use it often. And for me, when I heard that logical reasoning, I just saw that, hey, this could be the dress watch that, if I do need to go out and dress up, at least I have a timepiece with me that I can stare because of the beating heart and so on and so forth. So it's more of that. So, but again, opinions are always different. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And let's have a conversation as to what are your feelings about Frederique Constant. And then if you guys are, on the fence of actually getting one, because they have a lot of good models as well, but some are too expensive at retail. And again, as I said, you buy these watches below retail. Never ever buy full retail for it, because at that time it's not going to be worth it anymore. All right, so if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodles.